Hi guys, it's been a while since I've done a video about my ZT125U, and this one is going to be about the clutch switch. On the Facebook group for Zonte owners, there's been a few people who've mentioned that they've turned the ignition on their bike. Now, whether that is a U, a U1, a G1, a 310T, 310R, 250R, whatever, a Zonte. That they go to push the button, they pull the clutch in, push the button, nothing happens, and they think they've got serious electrical problems. I think it might be the battery. People are saying, oh, it's probably this, it's probably that. And a lot of people that are saying this tend to be 125cc riders who probably have a little less experience than, say, older people, because they tend to be younger. That's why they're on a 125. Although I happen to be nearly 47. I will be in 30 days. I'll be 47. And have had 30 years of experience on bikes. And 9 times out of 10 that this problem, when you pull the clutch in and you push the button and the bike don't start, is generally down to one thing. Now, a lot of people will say it's your side stand switch. It could potentially be that. That is quite a common fault, that your side stand switch, when you put your side stand up, still shows it to be down. Well, on this particular bike that won't matter, because the bike will still start with the stand down. My previous bike, you had to have your stand up. But then you didn't have to pull the clutch in to start it. If you had your, if it was in gear, you had to pull the clutch in to start it. But as long as it was in neutral and the stand was up, it should start. However, the Zontes, all the Zontes, these current newer models, all require the clutch to be pulled in. It's a safety feature, and it's basically so when you push the button, the starter motor doesn't engage while you've got the bike on the stand and in gear, and then shove the bike forward, pushing your bike off its stand and down. And that's basically it. And with this particular bike as well, if you are in neutral with the engine running and you then pull the clutch in, put it in gear, it will just conk out with the stand down. It has to be in neutral. And there's a lot of people that don't seem to understand this, that if the stand is down, the bike won't start. Is it in gear? Clutch is in. Oh, it's not doing nothing. Well, put it in neutral or pull the stand up. But these features are literally designed to stop you from riding with your stand down. So if you were to be riding and your stand is down, you could potentially crash, because it'd hit the road and cause you to crash. And also to stop you starting a bike while it's in gear and shoving the bike forward and off its stand. And I've had an older bike which didn't have the clutch switch that done this, 750, so a lot more powerful starter motor, and I've done exactly that. Bike was in first gear, pressed the button and lurched forward and off the stand. Luckily I was holding both the bars at the time, and the bike came off, and basically the bike used me as a crash mat. So I got hurt, but the bike didn't, and that's what was important. So basically what it is this. Under here you have got two little connectors that connect to two little spade ends, and there's a little switch that when you pull the clutch in, it basically closes the circuit. So it's an open circuit, the wires aren't touching anything. It closes the circuit, and the ECU goes, okay, closed circuit, you can start the bike now. And the problem is, they can get dirty, whether it's off the road, they can get water damaged and get corrosion, so there's not a decent connection. And so the circuit doesn't close, and the bike won't start. And there's been so many people saying about this. I was like, the ignition is on, and people are going, it's the battery, you need to charge the battery, or it's the key fob. And I was like, well, it's not the key fob, because the ignition's on. Once the ignition's on, the key fob doesn't do anything. It's only there to turn the ignition on, and that is that. So it's not that. going to be two things, generally speaking. If you push the button and nothing happens, side stand is down while it's in gear, side stand switch is faulty, or the clutch switch is faulty. And when I say faulty, both times it's going to be corrosion. So at the minute, if I turn the bike on, everything's sorted, bike is in neutral, showing it on the indicator, showing it on the light. It's in neutral, pull the clutch in. Well, let's try it without the clutch pulled in. Like, no clutch, it's dead. Pushing the button, nothing. Pull the clutch in. Would help if I actually had the run stop, which is another thing that a lot of people freak out. They think their bike's dead because they forget to turn the run stop back on. Anyway, pull the clutch in, press the button, and there you go, bike starts. You pull these wires off here though, two little spades. There we are. Pull the clutch in, nothing's going to happen because the switch isn't engaging. That's all it is, these two little wires. Now if you have a dodgy switch and you're out and about and you're not at home, wherever you may be, and it won't fire up, generally speaking it's going to be this. Now if I was to touch these two together, you hear a little click inside here, tiny little click. That's basically saying start the bike now. But they need to be stayed connected. Now trying to hold these together as you try and start the bike is a bit of a nightmare, especially considering I've added a little bit of electrical tape here because the sleeve didn't go all the way up to these connectors and they got a little bit of water in there, so I've just wrapped a little bit of electrical tape around it just to help stop any water getting in. So let me unlock the seat. Yep, just turn the bike off. What I have got under the seat is a little bit of wire which is inside my little bag here with my little Oxford straps to strap things down if I need them. Right, this bit of wire. Now I've only got this temporary until I buy some spade end connectors which will actually connect in there, and what I'll do is to have two male ends, spade end, with a bit of wire in the middle, crimped up, and then I can just shove one in each of these, press the button. So basically all you've got to do is get the connection, you can see this, in here. Just need to close the circuit. Only bit of metal, paper clip will do. So now, there you go. Whoops, fell out. That's why I'll get proper connectors. Get in there. There we go. Right, that's now connected up. That's a closed circuit now. Turn the bike on and just push the button. And the bike runs. Now you don't need this once it's running, you only need it to start the bike. And that's it. So this switch inside here could get wet, the copper inside could get dirty, corroded, whatever. You lose a connection, the bike will not start. So turn it off, turn it back on, nothing, dead. So turn the ignition off. I'm not going to do this while the ignition's on, just in case I blow a fuse. So put that in there, like that. Ignition back on again, like. And that's all it is. And 9 times out of 10, when you go to push that button, 9 times out of 10 you got all this happens. All the ignition is on, everything is alright, all your lights are on, everything. But you go to push the button, you pull the clutch in and you go, oh no, it won't start. You're pulling the clutch in, it won't start, and that is why. Dodgy switch in the clutch. That's 9 times out of 10 what's going to be. The other one is the footrest engine cutout switch. So on this bike I pull up, leave it in first gear, put the stand down, which I do sometimes because I might potentially be leaving it on a slope pointing forwards, so I'll leave it in gear, put the stand down, and that'll kill the engine because the gear's still in first gear. And then when I go to start the bike again, I pull the clutch in, and it's in gear and it don't want to start because it's in gear. So I keep this little thing in there for now. I just need to buy some little connectors, and that way if I do have the issue, there you go, locked. If I do have any issues trying to get the bike to start, and it's usually that, I can give them a little jiggle and it'll normally work. I mean, it's happened a couple of times with this, but I do ride in all the weathers. I do chuck water all over this when I'm washing it and stuff like that. It's not surprising. The thing is, this is a common issue with lots and lots of bikes, not just this one. Any bike with a clutch switch where water could potentially get to it, and bear in mind where it is, it's at the front of the bike, yeah? This is a naked bike, there's no fairing protecting it or anything like that. This is completely open to the elements. The U1 might not be so bad because it's got the whole thing going across the front, so that might not be as bad because it's got the big bit of plastic that goes across here. I don't know how well it protects that, but this is a very common thing with motorbikes. And it's got nothing to do whether it's Chinese. But let's try and connect this up. This is the rather fiddly bit, especially because I've taped them so they're so close. I've taped the clutch cable rubber, taped a bit. It's a little bit not so nice in there because I've used some waterproof anti-washout grease just to protect the cable. There we go, that's in. Alright, so now that is all connected up in there nicely. Let's get the screw back in. Yeah, so that's connected in there nicely. So now I can turn the ignition on, and it won't start. Dead. Pull the clutch in. Now she starts. Also, if I was to put it into gear, oh come on, there you go, first gear, pull the clutch in, pull the clutch in, it's not going to start because it's in gear. Stands down, we'll stand up, now it starts, put the stand down and it dies. That's what it's designed to do. It's to stop you from being able to ride the bike with the side stand down. And the reason it does it even like that is because you don't want to start the bike with the stand down. So you go to start the bike, pull the clutch in, press the button, and go, engine's running, it's in gear, let go of the clutch and go forwards, and the bike goes off. So that is the clutch switch. It's a common fault for all bikes. It is not, you know, just Chinese manufactured bikes. I've had many bikes from a Lithium 125 all the way up to a CBR 1100 XX Super Black Bears. I've had YZF 750Rs, GSXR 750s, a couple of GSX 600Fs, FZ 750 Genesis, you know, a couple of KMX 125Rs, TZR 125, Honda NSF 125, Suzuki TSX 125, and probably half of them bikes have had that same issue. And the issue isn't just about that particular switch, because you have an identical switch just under here for your brake light. So I have a habit of the very first thing I do in a day is, once the bike is running, I then check every single bulb on the bike works, and I check all the switch gear is working for the lights. So I start the bike up and I get it running, I put the hazard lights on, alright, I don't just go, okay, all the bulbs are working, all the indicators are working, and these little indicators on the dash are working left and right. I don't know that the indicator switch is working. Turn the hazards off, indicate left, bulbs are all working, turn it off. I don't just push it to the right, I push it off. Do the same for the right, they're all working. I then put high beam on, yep, flasher, yep, front brake, yep. I go round to the back of the bike, checking the brake light is, the rear light is on, checking that the number plate light is on, use the foot brake, or a foot brake, and check the brake light comes on. Check all the valves are working. Every single day. First thing that I do in the day. And as I walk out the door about 4:10 in the morning, it's always dark, so it's really easy for me to do. I also then walk around the front of the bike and I will check the main light is on, but you'll always see that it's on as soon as you turn the ignition on and start the bike. I also check that these daytime runner lights on the front of the bike are working. And I do that religiously every single day, every day. It's a good habit to get into. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. So I've had many bikes where exactly the same thing happens on the brake. That little micro switch there, you know, gets a bit of corrosion and it don't work. However, not all of them are open circuit, and when you pull the lever in, closes a circuit. The bike I had before this one, my Herald Scrambler, it was a closed circuit all the time, and when you pulled the lever in, it opened the circuit and the brake light came on. Weird, but the switch is always open, but it wasn't, it was just reversed. So the switch was open when the lever was out, and when you pulled the lever in, it had a reverse action inside the switch. So when you let go, when you pull the lever in, the bit inside, the little button on the switch, comes out, and that closes the circuit. And when you pull and when the lever goes back and it pushes the switch in, that opens the circuit. Weird. Normally it's the other way around. You pull the switch in, that closes the circuit. I don't know, but you know, just how it was. And I had that failed on me a few times, to the point where I did have to buy a new switch. About £5. So they're not a lot of money, though I probably will say that they are probably more difficult to get hold of for the Zontes. It's sideways there on the dirt. That's going to be a bit manky around this. I know it's going to be crappy. It's all the farming. I don't even see a tractor down there. No. Is he parked up? Or is he on his way? Not sure. That's where the piggies are. Got there's some big old potholes there. Tree roots. Tree roots. I always cut on the verges. Oh yeah, I went past this guy yesterday. Not quite where the pigs are. I'll be a little bit careful of the old roads. Leaves blowing everywhere. Oh, piglets. Oh, tree stuff. Bits of wood in the road. Looking at the piggies. A lot more pigs still around than there should be, because they ain't got enough slaughtermen. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this helps some people out. A bit long-winded, I know, but it's yeah. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh dear. How many got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, beeping the horn didn't work, did it?